Hey everyone, welcome to your Moon in Scorpio reading. We're going to be taking a look at the collective energies as they are as the Moon is transiting the sign of Scorpio around the dates of June 28th to June 30th. But as you guys know, ultimately, we're just reading the energy. So, you don't have to have any specific natal placements or be watching this video at the time that it's being made in order for it to be for you. If it resonates, then it's for you. And if it doesn't, I would invite you to take a step back, live a little bit more, take a few days, and then come back and check it out, because chances are the energies were there, but just not quite being perceived as yet. So if you'd like to work more personally with me, you know exactly where to find me. We do everything. As you already know, the guides are making sure, they want me to mention etheric surgery. So surgical procedures in the non-physical. So maybe there's somebody here that specifically needs that. So even though you do see that we do these fun tarot readings and all that stuff, what we do on a private basis is a lot more in depth. So if you feel called to work with me and my team, you know exactly where to find us. Yay. All right. They're so sweet. I just felt them bow a little bit when I did this. So we're at your service, capital S. All right, so let's jump into these energies. I said let's jump in, but immediately I was pushed back out, and not pushed back out. It's almost like if you're going to jump into a pool and then realize, oh, it's actually concrete. And let's explain what's happening. So that's, in a sense, that's a good thing, because it's reminding all of us, in case you didn't know, reminding you that you're in a pocket of energy right now. And this energy has been going on for the past 2 weeks, maybe closer to 3 weeks. It's been a lot. And some of you, let's just put it this way, how much you have been affected is an indication of how much you've been working on. So if you've been feeling stuck, stagnant, same energy, you've got indecision going on, even if you feel like you have a lot of options coming towards you, but you're sluggish, you're lethargic, even if you're experiencing energies of apathy, 2 minutes, 22 seconds. It's interesting because I also went to say the word empathy. I heard the word empathy. So for some of you, you don't usually feel empathy, but during this time period, you are feeling empathy. I do want to let you know, just imagine like this ball of just like this. Look at how the cards are laid out. And then when I got here, it was like this kink. It's a knot. It's a kink of energy. And then you can't see it, but off to the side, we've got this 10 of Pentacles in reverse, reminding us of how much upheaval we feel like we are going through. Now, when I say how much upheaval we feel like we're going to, part of the wording there is because we are having certain perceptions of what's going on. So in a sense, you may actually, let's say, for example, that you are let's say you're at a job and things are not looking good. It's like, oh my God, sales are low, or something's going on, and will I have work? Will I, when you look in the 3D, that's what's being fed back to you. That's what you're seeing. That's what you are experiencing through your physical senses. But if you come to me, for example, your friendly local reader, ding, I'll read the energies, the non-physical energies, and I'll probably see, oh, actually things are fine. You're just experiencing a sense of lack because of what you are making what you are making the input, the informational input through your physical senses mean about you and your livelihood. In other words, you're seeing something through your physical senses and you're making it mean something about your livelihood or your identity or your ability to survive or just whatnot, and you're projecting that into the future. But what you're not realizing is that anything that you can observe through your physical senses, your taste, your sight, your hearing, all of that, your touch, all of that stuff, your smell, that is your way of perceiving the physical plane of existence. It's the physical plane of existence. Before, at 4 minutes 44 seconds, just a quick reminder, anything that comes through the physical plane is a carbon copy. It is a result. It's a byproduct of something that has already taken place. And that's why A Course in Miracles reminds us that you only see the past. You only see the past. So you're not actually seeing anything. You're only thinking thoughts related to the past. So you're not actually thinking anything. So that's why they say things like that, because they understand that there are different levels of the field. You are a multidimensional being. But the problem is, because you're having such a physical experience, you have wrongfully believed that your physical experience and what you can observe and at a physical level, even what you see your body's health registering at the physical level, is a representative of what is. It's not. It's a representative, more accurately, of what was, of what you believe was. Now, you may be like, what are you talking about, Jay Bear? But let's think of it this way. Let's access that same information from a different mental standpoint. And 5 minutes, 55 seconds, let's consider that you are all into law of attraction studies and whatnot. And I want you to take that idea of law of attraction. I'm just going to cut around it so you can have it existing as itself, this concept of law of attraction. And if you disconnect from all the places that you have been taught about that, whether it's through The Secret or Abraham Hicks, shout out, okay, just saying that. But if you can disconnect from all, even from this channel, if you've disconnected from all the places that you have heard about law of attraction, now you just have this concept that you know that you don't know anything really about at the mental level, because you may think you know about it, but that's because you're tapping into these channels that other people are telling you about, right? Now, but either way, so just a reminder, in this age of Aquarius, when you're really trying to understand something, you really have to disconnect, be about the self when it comes to awareness and learning and building about your world. And that's where you're going to free yourself from whatever you want to call it, the matrix, collective consciousness, the dregs of it, all sorts of stuff. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Regardless of where you learned about the law of attraction, everybody says the same thing. They tell you that what you experience in the physical is the actual manifestation. So I've manifested collectively, you and me, you, the viewer, and me, Jonelle Bean, we have manifested this video together. We have co-created this video, but it's being experienced at the physical level in past, as a past moment. It seems real and it seems in our now moment, but it's not, because we already laid the groundwork. And that's why when you are doing any type of law of attraction work, the first thing they tell you is to disconnect from what you see, and they say to start believing and feeling into what you would like to have to be the reality, as though it is the reality right now. And what you're actually doing on an energetic level is just calling into existence what you would like to do. You're a cute little navigational device. That's what you are. You're a radio tuner. You call everything into being, and you may not believe it at this moment, and that's okay, but we're working towards it. So just get the image now of you being this being. You could look like yourself or whatever you'd like, and you are, that's why they're saying gravitational. Thank you. I was like, you saw me correct it, because I wanted to say navigational, but they're saying gravitational, and it's like helping to prove the point we're talking about. You're pulling towards you potential realities, potential timelines, potential realities, like I just said, yeah. And so as you're watching this video alone, there are potential realities out there as to how you can experience watching this video. But what you pull towards you, and let's put it this way, there's so many potentials, but you're not going to be within reach of all of them. It's impossible, because they all are covering the whole spectrum, right? You could watch this video and hate it. You could watch it and hate it so much you turn it off. You could watch it so much and hate it, but really tell yourself, oh, maybe there's something in here. You could watch it and love it so much and totally consume it without discernment. You could love it and watch it and use your discernment. You can kind of watch it. You can use it about. There's so much going on. But what comes to pass as your physical reality is just whatever was the strongest for you to manifest based on your beliefs. At the end of the day, it's your core beliefs, and that's where the moneymaker is. It's the core belief. And the guys have waxed poetic about that. Just go and watch any of our past videos. They talk a lot about core beliefs and how you direct and create your own reality based on your core beliefs. And that's why we're down here, to heal our perceptions at the core belief level. Anyway, your beliefs inform your thoughts. Well, your beliefs, at the core level, inform your drive in this life and what you'd like to accomplish, what you're oriented towards, what your values are, right? And that informs the thoughts that you think and the emotions that you feel and the gut reactions that you have. And then if you're not introducing conscious mind perspective and mindfulness and taking a pause and thinking, then it's going to just inform your reactions, right? So that's why mindfulness is very important, because it allows us to interrupt. First of all, it allows us to acknowledge what's actually coming up based on what's going on in our energetic field, to process it with mindfulness, right? And then to make a decision. That stops the chain of unconscious activity. So long story short, after the long story, I always say that we're going back into remembering that it's your present moment that is the only now moment, and this 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 moment. But let's use this moment and freeze it. For example, well, the moments are already gone. We can't freeze the now moments, but we're holding view into that moment where I said, hey, let's freeze now moment. In that now moment, it was not in the physical. So you heard me say now, but I'm not referring to the now that you're watching the video. I'm talking about the now in the non-physical field. So it's not what you're seeing, what you're experiencing and hearing and all this. It is in the non-physical now. And that now moment has not broken into the physical as a past moment as yet. Right? It's still in the realm. It's in the ethers. Look over here. It's still in the realm of, wait for it, possibility. It's in the potential. So the question is, what are you going to create in the now moment, in your non-physical now moment, in the imaginal space that is going to manifest later as a physical moment? Whatever it is, from car accidents to eating a lovely ice cream without sprinkles, and you wanted sprinkles but it didn't happen. It doesn't matter what that manifestation is eventually, but your non-physical now moment is the one that directly creates that. But the question is, how do we program that non-physical now moment? Well, you're always programming it. Now you're programming it. Now you're doing it. Now you're doing it. Now you're doing it. Now you're doing it. It's a snapshot. It's pretty much like, what's your dominant frequency? What's your dominant frequency? No, what's your dominant frequency? What's your dominant frequency? So if you're out here having low self-worth, low beliefs, poverty consciousness, martyrdom, victim consciousness, guess what you're carbon copying for yourself later down the line to manifest in your life, as the flat tire, as the breakup, as the house with rats, as all this stuff. You're directly creating those things for yourself. And when you're constantly in a low mood and you're pessimistic and you're nihilistic and you're all of that, there's no right or wrong. This is just about reminding you, hey, you are actually a very, very sovereign being, much more sovereign than you've been led to believe, and much more sovereign than you're possibly comfortable knowing at this time, because then you'd be like, what? And you'd be, where are we without our comfort blanket of being able to blame others, right? You're a conscious mind agent and an unconscious mind agent in your reality. Your biggest flaw, and all of us, our biggest flaw is that we lack the perception to see how we are actively programming our own field every second of the day, every now moment, just like this. It's creating a string, 14 minutes, 14 seconds. So you kind of get the point, but just to show you a little bit dimensionally before we move on, remember, where's the camera? It's over here. Wait, hold on. Where is my camera? Oh, there it is. Boink. Okay. You get a kiss. Okay. So let's say that you're at the third dimension, which we are. We're having a 3D perspective. So in the grand scheme of things, you're seeing this. And we're making the whole world mean something of this, what we can see and of the stuff we can't see, because we may think, oh, there's light and then there's darkness, or there's void, or there's whatever. But when you start to heal your inner stuff, clear your meridians, clear your chakras, clear your nadis, right? Your nodal structure. When you start to clear the blockages that are caused by, wait for it, your core beliefs, multidimensional beliefs. What are you believing on the different levels of your field, right? When you start to clear those blockages and you work through it and you process it, you do your inner work, you do your shadow work. That's why it's very important to do those things. Guess what happens? You're just creating space. You're restoring your vision. So in other words, you are moving up. And in case now you could see more. Now you could start to see, oh my God, there was that void over here, like what we thought was darkness. Now there's stuff we can see, it's still blurry. And now there's this other thing. What's that? This, that, and the other? Could that be paradox? What is that? What am I looking at? And then, of course, humanity tries to understandably explain what it sees, tries to create whole societies, whole cultures, generations worth upon limited vision and limited perspective, because they do not have overall perspective from their 3D state of mind, literally state of mind, and also because they are too much immersed in the physical body. That's why people who exhibit quote unquote superhuman abilities, bending spoons, levitating, all of this. Now you may be like, that's not real, but it is real for some people. You haven't gotten there. But if you speak to them and if you really follow them and their process and how they've come to, and also their guides are saying also radical healing, things like that. Yes, of the body, even of the physical body. It's because they have mastered non-physical principles. You cannot work in a carbon copy to create change. The body is a past moment. The body and what you see around you is a past moment, carbon copy of what was once a non-physical now moment. It's like trying to give life to dead meat on your plate. It's dead already. So, well, I guess we can cook it and eat it, but it's dead. But don't think that you can animate it and have, what are we doing? You will have a much better opportunity to engage and interact and all of that when you go to the animal while it's alive, to the plants while they are not cut and they're still vibing from their natural source with earth. And so you see, there are many, many iterations of this concept of having a past moment and interacting with it as though it is generative, as though it is our source and as though it can give to us. And that's a very bad place to be. And also within the framework of the limited view that we've made of our world, we have appointed leaders and gurus and institutions, but all of this is a wash, right? This is what we're trying to tell you. It's all a wash. It is all part and parcel of limited vision. So the way out of your limited vision as a human being is understanding that all forms of evolution, as they evolve, they start to become conscious of more than themselves. We see this in child development. As they get older by each age, they go from me, hopefully, to thinking about we and how can I contribute and how can I, do higher level functions with the group and with self and explore externally and internally. And when we see people stuck in tantrums and bad behaviors and things like that, that is a clear sign of a disruption in their maturation process. By what? Trauma. It's understandable. That's why we heal. And as we heal those things, we expand. So when we are talking about expanded consciousness and evolved beings and advanced mentality and all of that, we are talking about an expansion of, wait for it, beliefs / perceptions. So when we're healing down here, we are not healing the physical body. If you're focused fully on healing the physical body, then good. Then you will be, of course, it's important, you will be only working at the physical level, and the best that you will be doing is managing your symptoms, okay? Because the physical body is responding to all of the cellular memory and the genetics and all of that of the etheric body sitting right on top of it. It's in a non-physical field. And what informs the etheric body are all these other bodies on top of it. And so if you want to fix anything for real from the from the root of it, you have to go into the non-physical field. You have to expand your consciousness. And it starts by believing that you are more than just your body. Okay. Now, we will all eventually get to that awareness. Trust me, as human beings advance through the generations. But I will give you the secret now. The secret is you don't have to wait. You can sit down, get quiet, and just feel into your body. So one day you will wake up and realize, I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars focusing on external information that wasn't even a benefit to me because it was benefiting other people who wanted money and power. And they were wrong. They had no spiritual understanding. And even those who did try their best to have a spiritual understanding, they did their best, right? But they could have gotten corrupted. They were also working with limitation. At the end of the day, the age of Aquarius is about moving into self and understanding the awareness that comes through self. You are ground zero. You are the beginning. Now, another thing that you're going to have to think about is how you would like to move forward in this age of Aquarius, because the age of Aquarius is about advancements in what? Spirituality, technology, all of those things. But one of the major things that humanity has failed to learn in the past, and we see it coming up again, is that we see the option coming up again to learn or to not learn, right, is to remember that you are a biological entity. You are a spiritual energy, and you don't even know what that means. If you fully understood how powerful you were, you would not feel the need to augment yourself with technology. So we see a lot of people already thinking, let me explore how technology can make me better, can make the world better, can make, my expression of self better. Now, technology is wonderful, it's helpful, but it cannot be a replacement for things. So in other words, if this doesn't apply to you, please note it applies to a lot of people. Alarmingly, a lot of people think that they can reach heights with technology that they can't, and other things external to them that they cannot do for themselves if they do their internal work. And that is a mistake, because if you want to really understand, you will understand that you are actually a super being. But because of your limited perspective, as we see here, and not doing the shadow work, not looking at yourself, not following people who are in their heart space, because the heart space is what connects all of the energetic layers. So, and I'm not talking about, oh my God, heart, love you. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the frequency, the energetic frequency that occurs at that level of the field, at the heart chakra. It literally connects your upper energetic centers to your lower energetic centers. And these chakras or energetic centers are it's how you interface with the world. They literally are metabolic centers. They metabolize the energy around you in your environment. And so that's why it's very important not to have these blockages there, because what are we doing, right? We already know that metabolic processes in the physical body are extremely important and very, very important to maintain healthy chemical reactions so that we can have the chemical bonds that we need to make and break, which is basically the metabolic process, right? And when you are metabolizing properly in the physical body, you are contributing to healthy homeostasis. When bodies start to get in trouble, where it's basically a question of where in the physical body we are out of homeostasis. Where is there an imbalance? Where in the chemistry? Where in the biology? Where is it? What are we looking at? And again, because the body is just a carbon copy of what is occurring at the other levels of the field, then it logically follows that you will only be dealing with symptoms, even if you cut things out and you take things out and I'm healthy again and I don't have these feelings and I'm registering clean in the medical reports. if you do not heal the root cause in the non-physical space, which is related to core beliefs that create these blockages in your energy field, your meridians, all of that stuff, then you will once again encounter maladies in those areas, whether they're accidents or ailments or whatever, if not in this lifetime, in other lifetimes, because we have to clear them. That's what we're here for. We're healing. And sadly, the biggest tragedy of it is that we go to school and we're taught things corruptedly, by the way. We're taught things and perceptions and perspectives and delivered that information in scheduled blocks of time and in certain ways that are just not conducive to real learning about self. What we actually need is to have learning about the energetic vehicles, but you will never get that through mainstream media and in your schools that are mainstream and whatnot accepted thought, because it will eradicate or decimate is basically what I'm saying. Decimate the pharmaceutical industries, the religious institutions, the educational institutions, all of these things. It will change agribusiness. All of these things where there's a lot of money to be made. There's a lot of money made on keeping you out of this secret. And the awareness is so simple that you can do it all. All this you can do. And I'm just saying, and it starts with broadening your perspective. That's why the guides have been talking about learning to be ideologically flexible. Practice ideological flexibility. And this is more than tolerance. This is not about just saying, I tolerate your different views. No, it's about understanding that you have a worldview that you've come about by way of your learning, your conditioning, and again, expand that awareness by way of your past life conditioning. All of these things, you have certain energies in your field. Some of you have entities, you heard it say that, entity attachments in your field because of the life that you're living, the people that you're consuming, energies you're consuming. All of these things that are valorized by society, it's confusing in the field. I will just say it that way. I'll just leave it at that. But when you feel into someone's field, you see confusion. But here in the newspapers and all of that, this is this is the right way. We're being liberal. We're understanding. We're just that, or we're learning to be conservative. And anything that you see in the media, you must question, because it's not a matter of going outside and trying to understand inside. It's going inside and understanding outside. You cannot understand outside as healthy or ill-making for you until you go inside. And what is healthy for one person is not healthy for you. What is ill-making for one person is not ill-making for you. So you have to understand the way forward is you being on your path, and your path is inside. Do not buy into the space race and the this and that. You're buying into projected ideas and projects, getting money to have those projected ideas, but they're not benefiting you. What will directly benefit you is this: changing your perceptions. So as you evolve, this is what you're doing. You're starting to gain more insight into self, and as you remove those energetic structures from your field, you're starting to expand your vision. And now look at what you see on the screen. Now you're seeing more. You're like, oh my God, before I was just seeing what looked like light and then darkness. It was like something like this, light and darkness. And then I started to perceive of a third thing. There's light, darkness, and now there's color, and there are other structures. And now I'm this and that. And then as you expand your vision, you start to zoom out and you start to realize I'm bigger than where I was before. And wow, look at what it is. They're actually two hands, or well, we're just using this as an example, but chances are it's going to be something that you cannot perceive of because it doesn't exist in your framework, right? Or whatever, right? So during healing sessions before, I've encountered information like that. Like, for example, I'll encounter something that I know is a color that is coming through, but it will only appear a certain dullish, grayish violet. But I know, my brain understands that that's not the real color. It understands that this is information that is not perceivable by my current structure, because we are somewhat bound by the body's structures and abilities, right? We're humans. But your cats do like, oh, dude, that's this color, and it's that color, you know, and you're like, what? You probably can't even get it, right? And in fact, when the more advanced that you get in your awareness, you notice language falls away, because then we start to speak the language of the heart and the mind, and telepathy happens. A lot of us are already telepathic. You just don't realize how telepathic you are. Mothers are very telepathic with their children. People are telepathic with their animals. You're telepathic with your friends that you're very close to, but you can possibly improve upon your telepathy. The more that you clear your energy field. Telepathy is that energy, that connection, a form of communication that comes by way of really, really working on that not third chakra. Oh yeah, well, they said third chakra, but I was going to say throat chakra as well, because that is, ear, nose, throat, the communication. So anyway, what the team is trying to say, oh, let me have a sip of water. Oh my gosh, hold on. Thank you. What the team is trying to say is 30 minutes, 30 seconds. This is your service interruption. Because we're programmed. You're watching a program. It's all programmed. You're programmed. And what's so sad about it is that you're so programmed by someone else's programming that you will hate your neighbor because they voted for someone else. You will hate your neighbor because they look like something else. You will hate your neighbor because they don't have the same economic equality as you. You will hate your neighbor because you don't like his face or her face. You will hate your neighbor because they seem to be doing better in life than you. You will hate your neighbor and you don't know why, but I'll tell you why, because you have some unhealed past life stuff with them. You will hate your neighbor because, well, you just love to hate, and you don't even realize you love to hate, and maybe you don't love to hate, but you've been so conditioned to hate. And then on top of that, you will hate your neighbor because God told you to, because Jesus told you to. Depending on who you are, 31 minutes, 31 seconds, people see different things into one word. For many people, God means something else. Jesus means something else. Buddha means something else. You get it? For some people, they don't believe in any of that, but they will still hate their neighbor. So the point is, at the end of the day, your way forward, if you're watching this video, hello, service interruption, PSA, PDAs, what? PSAs, service interruption. You are mind warped. Your mind is the problem. Your mind is stopping you from accessing your everything. And for as long as you continue to be tapped into the mind of someone else, the hive mind that is currently in place on this planet and is very well guarded. It's so well guarded, this hive mind, that we have people picking up arms and going across the world to kill other people in the name of their countries, in the name of their beliefs. Or sometimes in the name of the belief that they can't survive in their country. They don't have anything to do. They were recruited early out of school. All sorts of stuff. And then it's justified in the name of patriotism. At the end, for example, at the end of the day, sometimes people like that need to feel a belief in the entity that is their nation or their culture or their family or whatever, or their religion, in order to justify on a soul level, on an emotional level, on a grief level, what it is that their two hands have done. At the end of the day, you have two hands and you must guard it, because your hands are moving to the beat of your mind. And your mind, if it's not moving to the beat of your heart and your own intellect and your own exploration, then it is moving to the tune of someone else's. 33 minutes, 33 seconds. And so we all do that to a certain degree, but it is your job, once you become aware of it, and this is your awareness, Mark. Hi, they're telling you. It no longer becomes a habit, it's now a choice on some level. So you have to find ways to disconnect. So if you're watching today, it looks like the guides are really trying to get the collective energy to disconnect from autopilot, drooling, programming, venerating celebrities, spending money on things that you don't need, and that may actually hurt you. Now, this is not a call to be an ascetic, because guys, I'm a Taurus moon. We out here, we love the comfort, we love everything, right? Give me all the foods. What it is asking you to do is to be conscious. You can do anything you want in this world because it is your birthright to experience and explore, and that's what your soul wants. But what you need is to be conscious about what you're doing, because you're racking up karma, you're hurting people, you're hurting yourself, and you are going down directions in all of the potential that you have. You are activating potentials and going down those potentials based on beliefs that do not serve you, based on conditioned beliefs over time, based on unloving conditioned beliefs over time. And the sad thing about it is, the thing about societies and cultures and any grouping is that there's always a group culture that you're either inside of or outside of. And when you're inside of it, yeah, things are going great. You are living a great life because society sees you as doing great. You're valorized, you're lauded, you play the part, you're the model. That's what we all need to be like. But when you're outside of it, the struggle is real. And the thing to remember is, on this planet, everything is flipped. So when they say the meek shall inherit the earth, it's kind of like a key word, like, hey, take a look at, those who aren't really in the Kool-Aid, in the sauce. What's going on? Do they actually have something to say? Or, and it would take people who are benefiting from the system, whatever system there is, because there are many systems on this planet, benefiting from the system, to really wake up and ask, is this system a system of love? And I will tell you now, it is probably not. Is it a system that is generative? Does it generate? Do these systems generate love? Is it pouring out motivation, positivity for all? Or is it only doing it at the expense of others to give to some? This is critical thinking that you have to ask. And part of being able to ask that means that we have to really look at ourselves, and that's where a lot of people stop short, because the system has fail-safe. Is it fail-safe? Anyway, fail-safe methods. So that looks like neighbors turning on each other, neighbors reporting on each other, neighbors ostracizing each other, people hurting and bullying and all sorts of stuff anytime somebody thinks differently. And we've had cures for everything, I'm sure, under the sun. But the problem is that we've ostracized it away. So our messengers come in different, they come in and they look different. They have to be different. Our messengers have to be different. They cannot fit the status quo. And if they do fit the status quo, their burden is very, very hard, because they've got to establish an independent voice within the status quo, and they're a target. So you have to understand, listen to the message. Do not shun the messenger. We've had many, many whistleblowers, many people who've come out and with their different medical methods and different this and that and different lines of thought. There are ideas from the grassroots that come up. There are so many things that have come that would, if bought into and if used, liberated this planet over and over and over again. But the powers that are in control have a vested interest not to have those things brought out, and so people are disappeared, thoughts are suppressed. But the number one way that the system maintains itself is by having you look down on that person, because one of the things that human being needs most is the ability to belong to something. We are animals that bond. So human beings, belonging is very, 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 very important. It's the utmost of importance. In fact, the biggest problem with humans, the original misperception for humans that keep us in all of this at the core level, is a belief in separation. We believe on some level, and we're not going to viscerally understand this yet, but we believe on some level that we have been pushed out of source of love, that we've been separated, but it's not the truth. It's from our limited perception that we see that to be true. And again, we've built societies and generations and canons of knowledge on this concept, but it is not real. And that's why when they say separation is not real, it never happened, all this stuff, people are like, what? That's impossible, because they can only feel the generations of conditioning. In order to really get out of where your issue is, which is the brainwashing and the this and that, you're going to have to be separate, disconnect from what you think you know. This is not to say to become an idiot, a blithering idiot. It's to say, no, get on the path to understanding that there is alternative knowledge. There is more knowledge. There is truer knowledge. There's actual knowledge. There's love. There's connection. There's abundance. There's prosperity. There is health, vitality. There is all of this going on outside of where you have been trained to believe it is able to be had. But it's actually a shadow of what can happen for you. But it's going to take you to wait for it, do the shadow work, do the inner work, be okay with disconnecting, be okay with being yourself. This is Aquarius energy. In the age of Aquarius, you are going to have to become the leader that you are. You're going to have to step into the sovereignty that you are. That's what Aquarius does. That's what its ruling planet, Uranus, does. It is the planet of shock, of rebellion, of innovation. And why? It is the original scout. It's out there. It knows. And it's pulling us to discover that for ourselves. But what runs contrary to that is the institution. And Aquarius energy is not saying down with the institutions. It's not saying that. It just so happens in the societies that we have on Earth that we really do need to say down with the institutions. What in the age of Aquarius, inquiring, yeah. What the age of Aquarius is actually trying to instill within us is, number one, the memory that we are it. God is within. God is not without. God is within. That's it. The second thing is that you have it all. You have all the ability to be larger than you could ever consider. You can evolve. You are evolving. But it's your responsibility to make sure that you're mindful and that you're responsible and that you are taking the right steps towards evolving in a way that is for your health and well-being. This is where the split occurs. And it's happened before. We know this. Some people call it the cautionary tale of Atlantis, right? A lot happened in Atlantis, right? A lot of people who were in Atlantis are back again, baby. They back, we back. Why? To see if they can learn this lesson. Am I going to give my power away to something shiny outside of me? Or am I going to secure myself, my ability to self-govern, to be sovereign, and to be in the heart space, and to be in service to the collective good, and from that place and that maturity and understanding, engage in technology? Or am I just going to be like, oh, shiny object, let me go there, but I haven't mastered the maturity that's needed in order to wield that in a mature way? History is littered by immature energies misusing technology, whatever the form of technology is, okay? So it looks like the guides today are really coming through to remind us and to encourage us to take this evolutionary step forward. Your ascension is about you expanding your perception. In order to expand your perception to more of what you already are at the soul level, we're just rejoining our soul level perception. In order to expand that way, you're going to have to be self-reflexive. You're going to have to look at who you are being, not who you are being as a product of your conditioning. You're going to have to do the dirty work of looking at how that product, how that production, how your conditioning and how your being has led to the creation of certain things in your life, how you have hurt people along the way. That alone can be very hard because of this mislearning, all sorts of stuff. And it does include taking care of your health, not only on the physical level, but understanding that your physical body is just one of many levels. Actually, hold on one sec. Let me go ahead and see if I can. I mean, we're not supposed to, This is just a quick look, but really just very, very quickly, for example, I mean, not trying to, 444, it's okay, I can do it. Not trying to copyright whatever it is, but just to give you an idea, look at your physical body. There's the physical body, but look at all of these other bodies that control a whole bunch of your reality, okay? What people don't realize is that, look, I'm sorry. Duh. Look at you. That's what we were just looking at in all your glory. And that's just the 7 layers, the 7 levels of the field that have the corresponding chakras. It's going to go higher up, right? But look at how they look on the different fields according to an intuitive clairvoyant. Medical intuition is the future. Well, these are just different energies and how they express themselves. It's the future, okay? So when you are really trying to understand yourself and you're trying to take control of your life, because this is what it's all about. Take control of your life, heal your life so you can move forward. When you have that kind of inquiry and you're really, really serious about being at your best, not only for yourself, but for others, it has to go inward. It doesn't matter how much money you make, whether you even have any money, if you live alone, do you have love in your life, all of that at some level is vanity. It's about looking inside and seeing, where is my grief? Where are my beliefs? How am I hurting myself and I don't realize it? Where can I support myself better? This is self-care. It's about self-understanding, and it's about being able to allow yourself to, in a safe space with safe people, have that exploration. And I want you to take away, because we want to move on to some other stuff, but I want you to take away from what the guides are saying so far, that number one, right now, it's been rough the past 3 weeks, but that's just because of 46 minutes, 46 seconds. It's been rough the past few weeks, but that's only because, we've had a lot of light hitting here, a lot of astrological influences. If you don't believe in astrology, that's your business, but I just want to remind you, it's like the weather report. Why, that's the best I can say. Energetic weather report. Get on it. Collective energy readings like this. And also Lee Harris does amazing collective energy reports. All of that is there. Sandra does amazing collective energy reports. A lot of your collective readers are here to try and help. And a lot of us also do personal stuff. You know me, I'm an intuitive counselor. We do it all where I am. Some of them are they just do stuff on YouTube to really get that report going consistently and stuff. There are so many people out here to assist. And when you're ready to actually have that help given to you and you're looking for it, there are so many people, 47 minutes, 47 seconds, who are trained bringing in these higher frequency energies to do different types of work on your different levels of the field. You have problems emotionally? Yes, Bach's flower essences work. Does that work for the physical body? No. So you don't stop and say, oh my God, I did this and I didn't heal my hand. Yeah, because you have to understand, if you're working on the physical field, you're going to need your medical doctors. But you can support your physical body with doing stuff in the non-physical field where the real healing occurs. Down here in the physical, you're just managing the symptoms from up here that have, wait for it, manifested into your physical body. That's how the energy works. If it's not cleared in the non-physical, over time, it's going to precipitate downward where? Boom, into the physical realm, and now you have some type of issue, whether it's a headache or whether it's a genetic something. All your genetics, all of those stuff, your DNA, they're taking their cues from above. Okay, and you don't have to believe, that's fine. But your job in this lifetime, and at this time especially, this is the call. I can barely get to the cards, but actually as I'm looking at the cards, they all kind of play into what the guides are saying. The call is to be informed, but you've been misinformed, and you've been focusing on the misinformation for too long, and whole societies have been created by that. And it's understandable, because it was coming from a limited perspective. But now with our fields and our energetic upgrades that have been happening, thank you to all of the energies hitting the earth. It's tumultuous for us because our stuff comes up, right? But that is what is helping your energetic field to spin, to do its thing, to heal, to alert you. We need help. Hey, we have to fix this. We have to fix this. And that's why you're going to probably be directed and called to seeing healers. Because what do the healers do? They work on the non-physical bodies. They work in your now moment. The physical body is not your now moment, but it helps. Because if you're feeling physical pain and it's actually toxic and can kill the physical body, we need our physical doctors, and they're so amazing, but they need help. And that's why we have integrated medicine. When you're really in the future and you understand this, we will start to see medical centers that have everything respected, understood, all under one roof. And that's because they work together. Everyone works together, but that's a time of expanded vision. If you're going to wait for that, then you're probably going to be waiting a long time. You can get started now, because all this you can do. Just remember that. And I always say this, and I've said it before, and I think I may keep saying it, just so that if you're listening, you can get it ingrained within your brain. Again, when we start to have, some people like to call it disclosure, which is basically when the government comes out and says, we do have alien contact, right? That's all a wash. What you need to do instead is understand that you're part of a larger galactic consciousness. You're part of a universe, and this is only one universe of many universes, and you don't even need to get into all that in order to be a galactic citizen. To understand your role in the cosmos. Let's even, it's fractal. Understand, let's look at it down here. How are you as a member of your society? How are you as a member of your race? How are you as a member of your gender? How are you as a member of your economic standing? Whatever we want to say, right? And even some of those shouldn't even be things that we really, it should be just thinking, how am I as a person? How am I as a person 51 minutes, 51 seconds? When you start to understand yourself as the individual, you start to activate your body. You activate centers in your body. You activate meridians. You activate the many different chakras. You activate your nadis. You activate all other systems in there that you have no idea. You activate those, and you start to vibrate faster. You activate your Merkaba, your navigational device. And when you start to reach that kind of level of awareness and consciousness, and you're eating to feed those energies, you're consuming music and media and all of that feed those energies, you're connecting with people that feed those energies, you're creating in a way that feed those energies. When you are more aware of your body's systems on different levels of the field, and you can have that awareness today if you wanted to. It's all here on earth. It's all here, but you have to expand your awareness and allow yourself to get out of mainstream thinking and stop deriding knowledge by saying, oh, it's woo-woo and this and it's that. No, it's knowledge that you have been shunning and or kept out of, or just weren't aware of for whatever reason. Maybe now it's in your soul's chart to become aware of that. But when you start entering into that, your gravitational device, you call these things into you. So if you want to learn something, you call the library to you. Oh my God, for a minute there I was like, is that the Akashic Library? That you call the information to you. It's as simple as, oh my gosh, angels or guides or universe, I would love to learn more about the crystalline grid. I would love to learn more about the ascension grid. I would love to learn more about my feet. I would love to learn more about my grief. I would love to learn more about my fingernails and how they contribute to my health. I would love to bring forth energies from my past life that can help me now. You just say it and you pull it into you, and you take the action steps to find that information. But if you're not even looking and even haven't even gathered the belief in that, let alone the practice to just even ask for it, then what are we doing? We're just out here getting acrylics, which is fine, and listening to the latest Drake song and all of this stuff, which all of these things carry entities. The guides are saying energies, entity, all sorts of stuff that you really want to be mindful. And it's not saying you cannot partake in these things. This is not a call for asceticism or anything weird or self-flagellation, all that weird stuff. No, this is a call for mindfulness. Plug out from everything. Take a moment, plug out, and plug in to self. And really listen to yourself. Listen, it's cacophony. For those of you who can hear the body, for some of you may be medical intuitives, you can see right into my hand, you can see cellular level, you can do stuff. You're a technician, you can do, some of you can just hear. You know, our dogs, they say, can sniff when people have cancerous growths and such. They sniff it, they smell it, and they alert, right? There are things you can do now, but you have to believe it, and you have to seek it out. You have to, and sometimes knowing is the first step. Like, okay, well, I'm interested, but where do I go? I can't even conceive of, right? And that's fine. You call it in to the universe. All right, universe, show me. And I'll be open. I'll be ideologically flexible to understand. And what the universe is going to do first is it's going to bring information to you that pertains to you. It pertains to you. And sometimes that information is not going to be what you expect it to be. It's probably going to be something like, we need you to go stand by water. We need you to go journal. We need you to go to this place, or we need you to take a nap today. It's not going to be what you expect it to be. So that calls for you to 55 minutes, 55 seconds, again, arrest the mind that wants to ask for information, but wants to tell the giver of the information the structure that information should be given unto you. No, that's why we go into silence. When you ask, you go into silence and you allow for the energies to present themselves to you. Maybe some energies will come through your elbows, some will come through your ears, some will present themselves on the side of a bus that's passing by. So this is about you learning about your vehicle, how to what am I? What am I? Who am I? People tell me red looks great on me, but does it? But I've noticed that when I wear red, things go awry. Maybe the red energy or the frequency, or maybe it's just that shirt that I'm wearing, the energies are conflicting with my field, right? So you have to understand that, take things piece by piece. This is not the time to blanket statement. And that's why personal readings are very, very good. You know where to find me or other people, but personal attention to self is very important. We cannot look at a whole group of people and be like, hey, you need to do that, or a family and say, hey, you need to do that. It's individual. And it's not just, I'm saying, sit and talk for years and tell me about your story and it's about, let me see into your field. This is what's happening. Let's see what we can clear. Let's talk about it. Here's how your diet can assist you. Here's what's happening that you're not aware of. This is what's going on in your family that's directly relating to you. This is what I see in your past life that's coming in. And this is about clearing up, because things are connected. Things are connected in ways you cannot see before, because the vision's limited, right? But when you expand your vision, all sorts of things become aware to you. And it's kind of simple. The guys are saying simple, kind of simple. Yeah, it's simple. It's so simple, but it's kind of simple. It seems hard because we're going from the bottom up. We're just getting detail. We're not seeing the whole thing, but the higher up you go, the better you can see. And so that's why you want to raise your consciousness. But I was going to say it's kind of similar to if you pinch yourself on a part of your body and then, somewhere else on your body pinches too. You're like, oh my God, what was that? Has that ever happened to you? It's happened. Anyway, whatever. Happens to the best of us. So anyway, that's a lot, but it's not really. It's very simple. Get back to yourself. That's for all of us, but just kidding. No slapping. Super hugs, tight hugs. Get back to yourself. Wake up. And the guides, I was going to say get out of the drama. The guides were saying detect the drama. The drama is very, very simple to detect. For example, yeah, we're out here, we're doing all this stuff. It doesn't matter if you're a Pleiadian or Arcturian or Syrian or Lyran or all that. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're Muslim, if you're Christian, if you're what are the other Jewish, if you have indigenous beliefs. It doesn't matter. Get rid of it. Not get rid of it, but get rid of the labels. Get rid of the entity that you allow to trap you in. It's okay to have beliefs, but do not allow them to trap you in, because you may not realize it now, but just take it from me as your friendly local energetic healer. They are structures in your energetic field. The more rigid you are, the more of a structure you have created around yourself, and it affects the rest of your life, your reality, your body eventually. And so ideological flexibility allows you to get in, spend as long as you want in any ideology you'd like, and then navigate away as needed. That's just how energy flows. That's energy. So if you think about it, the individual can move more freely than an institution, because that's a structure, right? But the individual will create stagnation for itself if it adopts the same rigidity without what? Without looking into itself for its own permissions, its own ideas. And it's okay to tap into knowledge that has been gathered through individuals around you, through learning, whatever. But just understand, and this is what the guides are saying, that a lot of the information that we take for granted as reality and as real and as authoritative is highly tainted. And so when you have anything that is tainted, you have to disconnect, you have to observe, and you have to think for yourself. You have to get into the divine heart. Is this loving? Does this vibe with love? So many of us have been conditioned out of the ability to understand and know what love is and to feel that frequency. So if that is you, which is everybody, the first thing that we should do is call upon, because remember, you can call your gravitational device, you call upon the universal love to come into your field and to show me the universal love, show me what the highest frequencies of love are. Just show me. And you're silent and you take your time and you just go about your business, but you observe, right? This is about you taking control. As a sovereign being, you take control. If you're not taking control, then you're someone else's. It's either you're acting out of your own control, or you're acting out of the control that has been transferred to you by somebody else. And that happens through our thoughts. So just letting you know. And it's all interconnected. Health, finances, everything is money. Health, finances, everything is energy. That's what I was going to say. Everything is energy. And so when you reclaim your energy, guess what industries are going to be affected? All of those industries that you built up because of somebody else's beliefs. So you didn't tap into your own stuff, and you've put your resources out there, and you have built up these fake things outside of you to kind of give your life away to. Now, they're not fake, but there's a lot of fake in there. So the first step to do is to connect to yourself, get silent, ask for your heart to be blessed and opened, and ask for the universal flow of love to flow in, and allow that to come all the way into your field. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be asking for your divine heart, your divine chakras, your divine everything to be activated, so that you can step back into, because this is about stepping back into your divine sovereignty. Even me as a healer and whatever, all the stuff that we do to assist, listen, I'm just reminding you. I'm being reminded, and then I remind you. I'm not teaching you anything you don't already know. It's a battle for the mind. And the question is, what path are you ready to go on? Are you going to continue down the path of falsity and just slip right into wherever you're being herded to? Or are you going to take a step back, disconnect, think for yourself, feel for yourself, experience for yourself, explore for yourself, love yourself, and then choose where you would like to plug into. That's all. Anybody who is seeking to empower your sovereignty moving forward is somebody to be trusted. Any institution seeking to empower your sovereignty and actually doing it, not saying it in name and then you find out that this person behind the scenes, no. Those are the people that you need to, those are the institutions to gravitate towards. But I'll tell you, if it's a huge institution, you're likely not going to really get that. So you really need to start to regroup with the self and connect with others who are of like heart and like mind, and be about feeding the soul. When you feed yourself, you become better able to feed others. And then when you feed others, it's not about you being a master to somebody else. It's not about you being the teacher, knowing everything. It's not about you being in control or you being a god. No, it's just about a sharing of information. And you understand from an energetic standpoint that if someone comes into your view and you're able to share something with them, they're able to share something back to you. So this is mutual giving. This is a leveling of the field that we're moving towards, not a hierarchical one. So if you're still kind of in that age of guru, those things are moving out. This is not the age of the guru anymore. It's the age of you going inward, and no longer accessing certain things inside of you by proxy. So you're not going to access your health and your well-being outside of you anymore. It's all inside of you. And you're going to navigate society not by what society tells you is the way to navigate, but by eating well, consuming well, connecting well. All of this changes your frequency. And because you're this cute little ball of energy, when you're vibrating at certain frequencies, you're basically navigating the Earth's plane toward things that are like that. So when you're low and you're nihilistic and you're not believing and you're bullying and you're always exhausted and you're this and that and you're taxing yourself and you're vibrating here, you're going to be directed to and people, places, things, situations, and ideas that vibe with that. So you're in that low. You're attracting that low. And you're probably sitting and consuming things on these news channels and believing it and getting your heart rate up and then taxing other people. And it's all low stuff. But when you're really caring for yourself and you're focusing on self-love and bringing in the universal love and focusing on asking spirit to heal your heart, you're in a place of humility, you're in a place of receiving, you're in a place of being aligned. You're vibrating and you're feeding your body and doing things properly in a way that's for your health and well-being. You're gravitating not towards those things. They don't have an appeal to you anymore, and they don't gravitate towards you. It's going to be repelled because your frequency is too high, and anything that's moving slower is going to be repelled from your field. You're going to gravitate towards things of that nature that are for you. As the guides say, and I'm going to leave it on this, everyone wants to heal. And in order to heal, you call in, as a gravitational device, you call it in, and you don't have to sit and light candles and do this and do that. You don't need any of that. You just close your eyes and you will it to be so, because you're a sovereign being. Anything else that's outside of you is, again, by proxy, but you don't need it. But if you want to make ritual has a way of, because we put so much belief in those things to call in the energies, it's going to help us to focus our energy more. Like a wand is going to help us to focus our energy more, right? But, you don't need all of that to do all that stuff. But you call in these energies, you get silent, you receive, and then, as the guides say, now that you've taken care of the non-physical part, you complement it with physical steps by putting yourself in the path of healing. So that means doing your research, stepping out, asking questions, giving yourself massages, learning how to massage, all sorts of stuff, and see where that takes you. Okay? Anyway, I'm going to stop there. God is good. God is good. And so are you. And we want to thank all of our guides who have stepped forward to assist us with this channeling process. And thank all of our cute little cards. Thanks, guys. The cards pretty much support what they said. And thank you all for listening. That was the guides who just said that. Thank you all for listening. Oh, amen. You know where to find us if you'd like to work more personally. All my information's on this page. And until then, you know, stay in the light, okay? God bless you guys. Bye.